Since fair use is generally based on how your copying complies with its 4 factors, it is recommended to do a fair use analysis before any action is taken. Here are some questions and considerations when analyzing if your copying is fair use. Based on the first factor, purpose and character of the use, you need to evaluate how your use of the original work differs in purpose and if your use changes the character of the use. Now, what does this mean? You should be looking at how your use is different from the original work by asking questions like, is your use a new expression? Meaning, are you transforming the original work into something new or different? Is your use making new information or meaning from the copyrighted work? And does it look different? Last, are you going to make money off of your use? Based on how you answer, your use will be somewhere on the scale of high risk of copyright violation to low risk, leaning closer to educational or nonprofit work that is also transformative is better. 2. Think of the second factor, the nature of the copyrighted work, and if your use is going to replace the original work or your work could be considered a substitute for the original work. Analyze specifically how your work and the copyrighted work are different in terms of, is the original work factual or creative or fiction-based content? Remember that something that is strictly factual without creative or fictional inclusions will be more acceptable to use in terms of fair use. As well as, is the original work already published? People have first rights to their work, so you can't publish or release someone else's work before them. You will be at a lower risk of copyright infringement and have a stronger fair use argument if your use causes no substitution or replacement. Based on the third factor, consider the amount and substantiality of the portion taken, if you are copying the heart of the original work, and if the amount copied is significant. When deciding if your use impacts the original work, consider how much is being used and is it only a small portion? Remember that you need to justify why the amount of portions selected were taken. Next, is the portion copied the most important part? This focuses on the heart of the original work aspect. In other words, is the work's significance based on the portion copied? Last, is the amount copied limited just to your specific purpose? Meaning, how do the portions taken fit your reason for copying? As long as you try to copy only the necessary or limited amounts, you are at a lower risk of copyright infringement. Finally, based on the fourth factor, you need to evaluate the effect of the use on the potential market, specifically if you are potentially depriving the copyright owner of income or impacting their ability to sell their work. When doing your fair use analysis, consider your use's impact based on, can people buy the original work? If yes, this could mean lost sales, which is against fair use. Second, are there already ways in place to pay the copyright owner for use? AKA, can you get a license to use the work? If yes, then that could be against fair use, as license agreements are always stronger than fair use factors. Third, could your work affect people buying the original work? This can range from a direct or full copy or similar copies that impact the copyrighted work's visibility in the market. The closer you lean towards private and nonprofit use, the lower your risk of copyright infringement. Once you have analyzed where you are on the scale for each factor and questions, you can move forward based on the risk of violation. If you still have any questions, WCC Library is here to help. Feel free to reach out to us by email, phone call, text, chatting online. A librarian will be available to chat with you Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.